The house is divided once again with your boy, Marcus Too Raw, the Michigan fan in the room, as well as your boy Josh, aka JTG, the Buckeye fan in the room. Another stinker for the Big Ten, unfortunately.
This was a terrible week. This was a terrible week. I felt it coming. Like, watching last week's games, it was just like, I don't know, man. Minnesota looks like they're in the stratosphere of Michigan and Ohio State, which is terrible. Because Wisconsin, Penn State, Michigan State, all this talk about Maryland, Maryland's they've been running over, mediocre teams just like we have. So we'll see what's going on next week.
Well, they will see you guys week one of conference play. So
we'll see what happens next week with them. Iowa looks like they're down. Like the traditional strengths of the Big Ten this year are down early in the season at least.
Yeah. So let's get into this Big Ten play. Michigan beat UConn 59-0. Your boy JJ gets the start and does pretty well.
Let's see, 15 of 18, 214. He really should have had a couple TDs, but they went down short of the Blake Worm. He got all of the notch in scores because receivers were falling down short of the line, short of the end zone. But it's kind of hard, right? Because obviously we know the competition is what it is, and so you got to find a way because you are supposed to do that. That's what you're supposed to do to a team like that.
Yes.
But at the same time, continue to find ways to get better and improve on things. It's not just wasted game. These games count, you know. And if this early college football season has taught us anything, is that there are no gimmies. There's no such thing as a gimme. Anybody can be beat any given Sunday. Ask Scott Frost.
Yeah, 1,000%.
So it's not the highest level of competition. You still need to be better. You need to get better. You need to continue to make strides. Now, I'll say that a couple things that I've seen that I feel like we need to, nothing to be concerned about, I feel like right now, but just to keep an eye on. Offensively, get healthy on the offensive line for sure. Health is going to be our biggest thing. Trevor Keegan was in and out. Trente Jones is struggling a little bit, but I'm not too worried just because this is his first year starting, and we're in the first 3 games. Talk to me in the middle of the season if he's still, having troubles. But that's going to be a thing. Kate McNamara is going to miss a few weeks. He got injured on Saturday, so get the backup ready, I guess. It's a long season. We're definitely going to need a backup quarterback. So get him healthy. Davis Warren, Alan Bowman, whoever ends up being that third guy, get him prepared as well. We're trying to have a stretch run here, and it would be unfortunate for a quarterback injury to take us out of the race this year. So knock on wood for that one. Defense still looks good. I feel like and there's been one time in each of these games where I'm looking at our edges and I'm like, man, why are you letting this dude break contain? Like, what the fuck is going on? Why aren't we setting an edge? And then I look up at the end of the game and they've got 50 rushing yards. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like I'm seeing something and I'm like, well, damn, like that's, we need to fix that. But then you look at the end of the game and it's like, well, the 2 or 3 times that they might have gotten outside didn't really hurt us. So maybe it's something to pay attention to, but not a huge concern. Just mainly health, I would say, going into these next couple of weeks is going to be our thing.
We didn't talk about Buckeye fans talking about Michigan's weak strength of schedule.
Never mind the fact that it has been 75 years. Michigan has either played a Power 5 team in the out of schedule conference or Notre Dame. 75 years. But never mind that. Never mind the fact that the only reason why we had to play Colorado State, UConn, and Hawaii is because UCLA didn't want to get their asses whipped in a back-to-back, and they backed out. Never mind that. Right? How about the fact that I watched Ohio State go through a schedule in the outer conference where they played the University of Buffalo, Miami University, University of Alabama, Birmingham, in the words of the prophet J. Cole, GOMD.
I don't think it's that serious, sir. But
GOMD.
But I do feel like at the end of the day, if you're looking at Michigan's strength of schedule now and non-conference play and laughing at it because it's supposedly one of the weakest non-conference schedules, that doesn't mean that Michigan's not going to be hard to play come November. So, like...
And also, why is that something to be... No, we don't want that. We don't want that. First of all, I'm tired of Michigan scheduling early season, what could be an early season out. First of all, this Texas Alabama early season matchup, you want to know why it was one of the most viewed games of the season already? You want to know why? Even though they were a 20-point favorite to win that game, it's because Nick Saban and Alabama don't have those type of games early in season.
Yeah.
He's been quoted as saying he does not like to play early season outs, tough opponents early in the season, the first 3 weeks of the season out of conference. They don't play them.
Yeah, Alabama plays terrible teams religiously.
In the Harbaugh era alone, I can think of Florida, Utah, obviously Notre Dame a couple times, Washington. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. And then we were scheduled to have Texas and Oklahoma in 2025 and 2026. That's probably going to get axed.
You think so? Because they're moving to the SEC?
Yeah, probably.
That's weak.
I would say so.
That's fucking weak.
We got this year, we got next year, and then we getting right back to it. So, GOMD.
Yeah, no, I just
like you don't want to have those tough out of conference games either. Who doesn't want to get through September relaxing in a reclining chair? Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want to gain confidence throughout September?
The hell? Averaging 60 points a game, damn near.
Yeah, no.
For sure. Sorry. And the only thing worse than the Ohio State fans complaining about it is the Michigan fans complaining about it.
Really?
Fam, it's insane.
Oh.
The soft schedule is ridiculous. Fam, get out of here.
Yeah, no, that's
I wish we were playing USC, Bama, and Florida State in the first 3 weeks.
So you can lose?
Like, what? Who wants that? And because I know for 100% fact, I know it. I don't know, but I know. The same people that were sitting over here booing Kate McNamara or clamoring for J.J. McCarthy, right? You're the same people that are talking about the strength of schedule. Well, you would have never gotten J.J. McCarthy if we didn't have this strength of schedule. If we were playing the U week 1, there's no way Harbaugh doesn't start McNamara. No way. Zero shot. It's McNamara, week 1. 100%. If we don't have this schedule, J.J. McCarthy doesn't get on the field. He doesn't get to start. He doesn't get a start in front of everybody where he shows all of America that he's the better quarterback.
And gain confidence into going into conference play.
You got the Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence swap. You got the Jalen Hurts Tua Tagovailoa swap a whole season earlier than they did. At least Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence, it was midway through the season. Jalen Hurts and Tua happened in the damn national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You got it in week 2.
Oklahoma versus Nebraska, 49-14 Oklahoma in their first game without Scott Frost, obviously. So literally everybody could have seen this coming.
Boy, that got ugly.
It did, and now they're starting their season off 1-3 without a coach, without a real head coach.
Herbie,
they're definitely
your
chanting.
Big Ten championship pick is looking.
They're definitely chanting for Urban out there, which is absolutely nuts.
Me and Dan Patrick got the scoop, boy. I tell y'all.
I don't think you want Urban. Here's my thing. I don't think his recruiting prowess is going to work as good for Nebraska.
That's what I said.
That is what you said.
It's hard. It's hard to recruit to Nebraska. Like, Scott Frost was able to do a lot of what he did in the transfer portal, but Nebraska wasn't bringing in top 10 recruiting classes. Mm-hmm. Weren't like, and that's their prodigal son. That is the the pride and joy of Nebraska. It's why he lasted so long. And he wasn't able to get high caliber talent into Nebraska. Now, I have never been one to say that, if you do not have the elitist of the elite at every position, then you can't compete. That's not where we're at, because even within that, he should have been a whole hell of a lot better than what his record showed at Nebraska.
Yes.
With the players that he had. Cool. So I think the raising of competency is one thing that they're looking at. Having a steady guy that's proven and at least shooting for the best one on the market as of right now. Here's my question, though. Has his value not diminished at all after seeing what we saw in Jacksonville? Because if you're talking about Urban Meyer when he first leaves Ohio State in 2017? I think so. 2017, right? He's still one of the hottest coaching names. I mean, obviously still one of the hottest coaching names, but I'm saying there is no question about Urban Meyer and his coaching prowess. There is no thought. There is no, we have to see it now. No, the proof's in the pudding. Undefeated seasons, national championships, Heisman winners. Yep. He's stamped. Does it feel like that right now about Urban Meyer?
It doesn't.
So when you're talking about bringing in a guy who's controversial, now he's not just going to flood in 5-star guys either, because now those guys are skeptical. I just watched you do it on the highest stage, and you flamed out quicker than Nick Saban, quicker than Harbaugh, quicker than any guy who's tried to do both. Bill O'Brien, any of them. Bill O'Brien can say he's a better NFL coach than you.
Yeah. No,
what?
I agree with all of that.
Like, so it's kind of like, yeah. Urban Meyer isn't. It's disrespectful to even say it out loud that he's an obvious upgrade over Scott Frost, but it's like, it's not as seamless, I think, as everybody thinks it is. Oh, we get Urban Meyer now. It's Plus, does he want to go to Nebraska? This not.
I was gonna say, if things go south, he's proven that he's not going to be loyal to your.
I was getting ready to say he had one flame out, right, and he's always had a little bit of controversy going out, but he's never been booted.
Yeah.
He's never been booted. He always found his way out of the back door, but he's never been booted until Jacksonville. I don't think he wants to start a trend if for some reason he isn't able to get it going in Nebraska. Would Urban Meyer be more likely to go for a ready-made job, say, in South Bend, Indiana? That seems a little bit more fitting to me than Lincoln, Nebraska.
I can see that. If Freeman doesn't find a way to turn.
Yeah. No, I'm still rooting for Freeman, but the Sharks are circling.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like the Sharks who won a big Power 5 coaching job. They circling Notre Dame right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, no, I just don't think that's the right move. But I don't even know if Urban is for sure the name at the top of their list. Well, maybe, but
so the reports are out that they've already reached out to him. So they're big game hunting, and I think that's why they fired Scott Frost, was to signal that, all right, look, we're not pussyfooting around. Like, we're gonna get this done. Let's go and try to find a guy. So if not Urban Meyer, I think Matt Campbell is a candidate. I think Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell feels like the best fit to me personally.
Yeah.
Culturally, he knows how to build with the lack of elite talent. Right, he gets guys to play above their level. He knows Big Ten football. I just feel like he fits the Nebraska brand. He looks like a guy who would call himself a Cornhusker.
Yeah.
I feel like Luke Fickell would be my next call if Urban Meyer doesn't go through. I've heard a couple other NFL names, Bill O'Brien or Matt Rule maybe if he doesn't end up staying at the Panthers, but we'll see. Any chance that Mickey Joseph actually keeps this job? Obviously, I don't think anybody expected him to go out there and beat Oklahoma, but any chance that he actually keeps his job as the interim guy?
I would like to see it.
We can't rule the guy out. If they somehow rally behind him, they're able to make a bowl game.
You
can't discount that. they got to get a win. They have to get a win without Scott Frost to get their minds right. Right now, I'm sure they probably feel like we can't do anything right, and this is like a cursed season. Yeah. They need to get a win without Scott so that they can kind of right the ship. It was it was kind of a setup for them to walk into a buzzsaw the week after firing Scott Frost. We'll see. Maybe
they've
6 games.
They've got Indiana and Rutgers next.
So those are some winnable games. Now Tom Allen ain't playing with y'all. Tom Allen about to stomp a mud hole in y'all last.
Especially
y'all
being
lacking.
Undefeated right now.
If y'all are lacking, he's going to stomp a mud hole in y'all's ass. But even Greg Schiano, this is not going to be an easy slate for them. But they have the talent to do it. They just got to put it together.
Yeah.
So if Mickey Joseph is able to make a bowl game with this team, he's got to get some serious consideration to keep that job. Yes, absolutely.
But that's a pretty big if.
5 more to go.
Yeah. Southern Illinois beat Northwestern 31-24.
Hey, man. Hey, Pat. Listen, dude. I think we talked about Northwestern in the beginning of the season. It's either feast or famine. Mm-hmm. They are either above their level playing out of their minds or they play like absolute shit.
Yep.
But like usually it doesn't mesh in the same season. Like you usually don't see both forms of Northwestern in the same exact season. Yeah. Where they're like, oh shit, man, no, that looked really good. And be like, next, I'll be like, what the hell? What are we looking at? So what's their record right now? 1-2?
1-2.
Jesus. And you lost to 2 FBS schools, right? Come on.
It's not looking good over there.
Come on, Pat. Come on, man. And I understand, Nebraska is not what we thought that they would be early on in the season. But at the same time, Nebraska had better players than anybody you faced the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out, man, what the hell? What is going on? Now, the last week was kind of tragic, but then again, you can't get down that far. Oh, wait, no. They lost to Duke.
Yeah.
They lost to Duke, not an FBS school. They're a Power 5 school.
Yeah.
And they could have won that game, but then again, don't get down 21. Don't get down 21-0. I don't know what the season holds for Northwestern at this point.
Yeah, I'm just upset because had they won 3-0, I would have felt like them going into Penn State would have been a bigger game.
But you still you cannot count it out because they will fuck around and have one of them out of their mind nights. If
Penn State catches them and then think they're just going to run them over.
You start beating up on Sean Clifford, he start doing wacky stuff. He start throwing the ball to the other team, coughing it up. They can get it done, but who's going to show up? What Northwestern team is going to show up? Mm-hmm. The one that beat Nebraska week 0 in Dublin, or the one that fumbled on the goal line versus Duke, or the one who just lost to Southern goddamn Illinois. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, there have been some catastrophic losses in the Big Ten out of conference schedule this year. I don't. Jesus Christ, Georgia, Southern Illinois.
You ready for another disappointment?
Oh my God.
Purdue lost to Syracuse 32-29.
Why? How? And what? What?
The score was 9-7 at the end of the third quarter.
And
in the fourth quarter,
nerfed that offense.
Purdue scored 20 and Syracuse scored 22.
So now let me ask you now, Jeff Brown, do you feel like maybe it's a good idea to establish a running game to go along with your high-fi and passing offense? You think like maybe a steadying force when your offense is sputtering a bit, like a consistent running game, could maybe help get things on track?
Yes.
So that an offense that we're accustomed to seeing scoring in the 40s and 50s doesn't end up losing by a point to an inferior team, or at least we thought to be an inferior team. Mm-hmm. So, I guess you're just gonna be stubborn and lose until you figure it out, man. But this is not the Big 12. It's not the 2000s, early 2000s Big East. You're not going to survive air raid out here. It's going to help you get a leg up, and that gives them an edge against certain teams. But you still have to run the football out here. You got to. And Syracuse, they're not a Big Ten team, but they're built like one. They play like one. They're a Northeastern pro-style team.
Mm-hmm. Funny enough, they lost with this one in the last minute. So they scored with 51 seconds left,
Mm-hmm.
and then Syracuse scored with, I think, 7 seconds left.
Yeah, we know you don't have no defense, Purdue. So it would behoove you sometimes to kind of milk it a little bit, maybe not score like lightning, and just kind of keep the ball from the other side because you're not confident that you can't keep them from getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
That all comes with the running game.
Yep. And that's just tough because we definitely looked at Purdue as one of the top teams.
Yeah,
in
man,
the West.
they're disappointing me right now.
For sure.
Disappointing me.
Definitely lost the spoiler maker energy they had last year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but no, they'll be back. It's a long season now.
No, that's true.
And they're gonna win some games, but it's, in terms of winning the West, it's gonna be tough. Now Syracuse doesn't hurt them all that much, but that loss to Penn State does.
Yes.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Indiana beat Western Kentucky 33-30 in overtime.
Hey,
so it took overtime for them to beat
Get
Western
it however
Kentucky.
you need to get it, Tom Allen. Because these are the scratchy wins that you have to get. You have to get the scrappy wins. You have to. You have to be able to go in and win a dogfight when you're a team like Indiana. Or else you'll just be perpetually 6-7 win team.
Yeah.
Right? You want to get over the hump. You want to win 9-10 games. You got to win games like this. Now they just got to do it in conference play. We'll see how that goes in the coming weeks.
Sure, but should they also be giving up 545 yards to Western Kentucky?
No, but so Western Kentucky has an offense. Mm-hmm. Number one, mm-hmm. They do have an offense. I don't think anybody expects Indiana to be. So the way that you look at Ohio State versus Toledo or Michigan versus a Hawaii or a Connecticut is not what you're expecting from Indiana. You know that if they've got a couple 5-star guys over there, a couple transfer portal guys who are difference makers, then Indiana's going to be in for a fight because that's Indiana's makeup.
Yeah.
You know, bunch of 3 stars, lower recruited guys, and a couple studs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in that instance, in an out of conference matchup with the team that has an offense, Indiana's going to have to scratch some of those wins out. They very easily could have came out of this. Well, they had a close game last week, so they could have been 1-2, like a lot of other teams.
Yep.
Right now they're sitting at 3-0, going into conference play versus Nebraska with a chance to start 4-0. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't happen if they don't, even though they gave up all the yardage, get over the hump and actually beat Western Kentucky. So I'm impressed. I think as they go on and continue to rebuild that defense in the coming years, they'll get better. But
and I think that Bazelak kid is becoming confident.
Yeah, he is. No, he is. He is. He's gonna be a lot better in the back half of the season than he is in the first, and he's already playing pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. Rutgers beat Temple 16-14. If I remember correctly, I think they were losing at the half. No, they were winning 10-7.
Really? I didn't watch this game.
I didn't either. But I remember kind of seeing like it was a close one at least. But Greg Schiano found a way to win it out, and
see,
that's really all you say.
And I mean, you would say, oh man, Rutgers should beat Temple by more than that. Northwestern lost to Southern Illinois. They very easily could have lost one of these games. Don't take these games for granted. Mm-hmm. Because when you look up at the end of the season and we're looking at Rutgers saying, man, they had a great season. Look at Rutgers. They shocked everybody. They won 8 games. You're going to be looking at this game against Temple. You're going to have to. They matter. They matter. Every game on your season matters. So don't ever take one for granted, because now Rutgers is sitting prettier than a lot of other teams that you expected to be a lot better this season.
1,000%. Penn State beat Auburn 41-12, and so they emerged 3-0.
Ooh, Auburn sucks.
Yeah,
Auburn fucking sucks.
Well, your boy
because
Nick Singleton
Penn State's
also
not that good.
Went 100+.
He's nice.
2 touchdowns.
We're gonna have to watch out for him because he's nice, but I still don't believe that they're that good. Auburn's not good.
No, Auburn is not that good.
I don't believe that Penn State is that good. They whooped Auburn like that because Auburn's not that good at all. Brian Harsin, start filling out those resumes, fam.
Yikes. Sean Clifford only scored with a 7-yard run. Nothing in the air.
Any turnovers?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope, nothing I'm aware of.
Oh, steady 30-year-old there.
He at least managed the game.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it's Auburn, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Minnesota beat Colorado 49-7.
Minnesota
is looking
Are you
amazing.
the third best team in the Big Ten?
I'm wondering that. And your boy Mo, 200-yard and 3 touchdowns.
There's something to contend with in that backfield. That offense looks crazy. So, yeah, man, I'd say maybe – okay, so obviously Ohio State, Michigan up at the top, and then you got that next level that's probably Minnesota, Penn State with a slight edge to maybe Minnesota. I just think the offense looked a lot better. And I legitimately think Penn State should already have a loss this season. So
no, for sure. And we predicted them to already have a loss at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Minnesota's still unranked. So
really,
dogging teams out, but still unranked. Yeah,
the disrespect. Yeah. But again, you know what that is? They didn't rank them to start the season. They're killing shit now, and so the AP, they have to continue to prove it. They have to continue to prove it,
which is crazy because Texas A&M can lose to an unranked team and still
how are they
ranked?
How are they ranked? Did they win?
I think they won this week.
Did they beat Miami?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck you, Josh Gaddis.
But still, they shouldn't have been ranked before. I don't know. I don't care. Mo Ibrahim
that's nuts.
Mo Ibrahim at this point should be in Heisman talks as well.
He's
dogging.
Do y'all play Minnesota this year?
Nope.
Fuck.
Nope.
Damn it.
Yeah, I don't think you guys do either.
That is smooth. So they missed both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And I think they can power through the Big Ten West.
Yeah, this year for sure.
It's looking really good for them.
Beat the dog shit out of Nebraska.
Nebraska, I think they can beat Wisconsin.
Rowing the boat all through Nebraska.
Purdue. Yeah, they're going to be tough. They might just easily make it to the Big Ten championship. Because I think what's their next few games? Okay, they're going to play Michigan State. And they got
that'll
Purdue,
be an interesting game.
Illinois.
That's who they play next week, Michigan State?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
they got Purdue, Illinois, and then Penn State, Rutgers, Nebraska, Northwestern, Iowa, Wisconsin.
Michigan State going to have some problems with Minnesota next week.
Yeah.
Is that up? Is that next? Can we talk about them? Is that next on the list?
Michigan State?
Yeah, versus Washington.
They weren't, but
let's go there.
All right, Washington beat Michigan State 39-28.
They actually skull fucked Michigan State, but it just so happened that at the end of the game, Washington gave up. Yeah, they came off the gas a little bit, but they actually skull drugged them.
It was like 29-8 at the half.
They was getting mollywopped, boy.
Safety.
So, couple things that I already pointed out about Peyton Thorne. It is the passing offense has not been great or wildly very consistent. Turnovers. The defense obviously is not. It's still Swiss cheese, just to put it lightly. I think I've shifted Penn State a little higher over Penn State on my concern level this year.
Penn State over Penn State?
I'm sorry, Penn State over Michigan State because I don't see anything over there. Even Jalen Berger, who's a good player, really good player, but your offensive line is nothing to fear. Your defense is like holy draws that you haven't thrown out of your drawer. It is bad over there. And then your leader, your guy, because I don't think they have anybody better. Tuck is not, I don't think he's the type of coach that's just going to lean on a guy out of loyalty or anything like that. Man, if my starter had 7 picks through the first 3 games, it's time to yank him, unless I don't think there's anybody else over there that they have confidence in. I don't think it's anybody else over there that they have confidence in. So it's Peyton Thorne.
Yeah.
And Peyton Thorne gonna throw you that thing for sure. And it's not always all his fault either. The man's running for his life. At least 60% of the time he's dropping back.
Yeah. Yeah, they got nothing but young guys over there.
So, bruh.
2 freshmen and 2 sophomores.
Sparty might be a long season over there. And you know what? It's not even really all that crazy to say that, because I think they overachieved last year. And you cannot bank your team season to season success based off of transfer portal turnover.
Mm-hmm.
If you're replacing 30 guys just through transfers every season, what does your player development look like? What if the transfers that you get don't hit? Yeah. Now your young guys either are out or they were pushed back on the depth chart by the new guys you got coming in and they're not being developed.
Yeah, yep. That is a huge problem.
You know what I mean? So it's like, keep expecting year over year for this defense to be better. And it hasn't since he's been there, in the 3 years he's been there. Maybe a little bit more focus on the recruiting trail as opposed to bringing in every transfer that wants out of their current situation would behoove you.
Maybe,
in your development.
It's hard to get that under the wing of Ohio State and Michigan.
Well, but I thought Tuck was coming. Tuck coming. Tuck can't stop nobody. So you got to figure something out, because I swear, I promise you, Sparty, we are going, man, oh my God, I can't even, you watch House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones? Okay, let me paint a scene here for you, right? So there's this character in there, his name is Daemon Targaryen, right? Daemon Targaryen is fighting this dude, the Crab King, right? Weird looking dude. And you got all these soldiers and they hide in the caves like crabs. Literally, it's kind of weird. But then they hide in the caves. Daemon gets them to come out. He's slicing them all down, cutting them up. Huge battle ensues, right? And then Daemon takes off after the Crab King. Walks back, holding nothing but the right arm and the upper torso of the Crab King, and he throws it out. Battle's over. That is what I imagine the Michigan State game is going to be like this year. That is what I imagine it's going to be like. Just toss out the carcass onto the field.
Mel Tucker.
Tuck coming.
Also interesting that Michael Penix, a name we haven't heard in a while, almost 400 yards.
Boy,
and 4
where
touchdowns.
did he come? First of all, Tom, you should have fought a little harder to get him to stay, because he looks nice.
Yeah.
Michael Penix looks good at Washington.
Yep.
They got that boy out there looking like I don't even know, like Russell.
But he's in the pack now. So
Hey, I mean, he's a grad. This grad transfer. This will be his last year. This will probably get him drafted if he continues on this pace. Yeah. Obviously, like I
they
just
make
said,
a bowl game.
Michigan State's defense is Swiss cheese, but he looks good. He looks really good.
Yeah. Iowa beat Nevada 27-0. So finally they're done with these single score games.
They got some offense.
You know,
look at there.
a little bit.
Now don't go too far now, because we play y'all after Maryland, so I still want y'all to be going through y'all stuff when we come in there. But yeah, no, good for them, man. Good for them. So what is that? Is that 2-1?
That is 2-1.
2-1. Okay, so they got a chance to be 3-1 when we play them.
Yeah.
That's a decent matchup. I still don't know if we're going to make a night game. I hope they don't.
Couple scores on the ground.
Let that be big noon kickoff. Let's get that joint kicking off at 12. Go in there, get this dub early, and get out. Do not want to be in Kinnick at night.
Wisconsin beat New Mexico State 66-7.
Who is New Mexico State's coach? I know that guy. Jerry Kill, the former Minnesota coach. He was Minnesota's old coach. That's why it was so funny, because him and PJ Fleck they had beef.
Okay.
And then he smoked him. He smoked him. Yeah, man. Okay, I'll see you, Wisconsin. What you gonna do against Ohio State in a couple weeks? That's all I want to know. Or is it next week?
Next week.
Oh yeah. What you gonna do with Ohio State next week? That's what I want to know. You know what I mean? Is it gonna be the Wisconsin that lost to South Dakota State?
They lost to Washington State.
Washington State. all these state directional schools. Eastern Kentucky, Western, Northern Idaho. What's up with that, man?
Western
How we losing
Rhode
the
Island
teams?
State.
Man, it's just a state. Michigan, that's it.
Yikes. Yeah, no, I don't see them having the talent just at the end of the day to hang. Not to sound arrogant, but like I just don't see them out talenting Ohio State at the end of the day. A little tough for them at that point.
Yeah, obviously they got to keep the ball from your offense. So
Yep.
that if they do what they want to do on offense, that bodes well.
Mm-hmm.
Graham Mertz, man, that dude is I don't even know, man. It's like a guy with all the physical tools that you would want in a quarterback, but just looks so bad when he's doing it for some reason. Like every now and again, he'll flash and he'll show you something and be like, oh yeah, no, that guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like the 15 plays in between those instances in the game is just like, yo, why do you look like this? Why do you look like this?
I'll say this. Graham Mertz doesn't scare me as much, even with what I'm about to talk about in our Ohio State segment. Graham Mertz doesn't scare me as much. I would say Braylon Allen scares me the most because he'd probably be one of our biggest tests.
Oh, for sure. No,
For
Braylon
rush
Allen
defense.
is nasty, but it's like
And
it's
even
not in
he-
Madison, right? This is at Ohio State. This is in
I believe it's in Columbus. Yep.
Columbus. Yeah, so I don't think, and unless he just has a Herculean type effort, like a Hassan Haskins type effort, you're not going to lean on him the entire game and think that's going to get you the dub.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not without some sort of contribution. Like Graham Mertz has to be aggressive and he has to be able to complete passes downfield when he has the opportunity. I don't know if y'all are going. See, that's the thing. When y'all play with these safeties, y'all play with 3 safeties. So you could have a safety in the box and still put 2 over top. Is Wisconsin going to be able to scheme something to exploit that? That'll be the game.
We'll talk about some things that I'm concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland beat SMU 34-27. It's kind of a close game for Maryland. I feel like.
I'm glad that you got a dub, Maryland. I'm glad that you coming into this game feeling good, your belly full on a W. I want you to feel good, right? When they lead lambs to the slaughter, they make them feel good. They want them to feel nice and warm and comforted. I don't want you scared because that make the meat taste nasty.
Tua's little brother didn't play as well as he had in previous weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Hemby kind of had to carry a little bit more of the weight on his shoulders. 15 penalties. That's not going to do it against better teams.
It's not a clean football team, man. They never have been.
Yeah.
And it's always fun. You know what? For years, until Michigan was able to finally break through and win the Big Ten championship, it was always this thing of like, we were never the team that like people picked to be the surprise or who's your dark horse pick or who do you think is gonna win the league that nobody's calling right now. They always pick Wisconsin. They always pick Nebraska. They always pick Penn State. And they want to talk about Minnesota. And then recently, over the last couple of years since Loxley has been there, now it's Maryland. Oh, watch out for Maryland. Maryland's going to do this. Maryland's going to do that. Why do they get stuff so easily? What has been earned? How has that been earned? What about Loxley's time at Maryland makes you think that this is the year that they're going to take a quantum leap and compete in the East?
Not if they can only beat SMU by 1 score.
I think that similar to what's going on at Michigan State, they do a lot in the portal, right? And he recruits that DMV area pretty well too. I think he's a little bit better recruiting his footprint than Mel Tucker is.
Michigan State has a bigger organization right in that same wheelhouse. I think that's a little
Sure,
tougher.
but the DMV is kind of a hotbed for recruits, and it's usually ravished by other bigger schools in the South and the North.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like Maryland has not traditionally kept its home field, its homegrown talent home.
Yeah.
Loxley is trying to do a better job of that. I don't think like we lose a guy to Michigan State and Tuck every now and again, but it I don't think it's to the point where like, oh, Michigan State owns the state of Michigan. You know what I mean? That ain't what it is.
Yeah.
But similarly to what he's got going on, he does get a lot of transfers, and it hasn't really, the development on the defensive side of the ball has not really shown as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think the guys are coming along. I think that's just the natural trade-off that you do. If you bring in a lot of transfers, that doesn't allow for the guys that are either on the roster that stayed, that didn't transfer, because that's another thing you got to think about. If you're bringing in 20 guys, that means you had 20 guys going out.
Yeah.
A lot of time, those are the guys that aren't playing. That's your young guys that you're supposed to be developing. If they're leaving and now you've replaced that with upperclassmen transfers, the development is not there.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been good on offense because he was able to recruit Talia and all those receivers out there. But it's the defense that's going to keep them from taking that next step. Until they do that, I don't want to hear nobody talking about how Maryland is going to be this or that. Maryland's going to be the same 6 to 7 win team that they have been until they take a stride on the other side of the ball.
The Buckeyes beat Toledo 77-21. While I'm definitely happy about 77 points scored on Toledo, got to get, obviously, C.J. Stroud his stats, and then even allow Kyle McCord to come in the game and get some play. Even Devin Brown got a little bit of play. Travion Henderson got injured like early, and I don't know what was up with that. Still haven't heard any kind of updates myself, so that's a little concerning, I guess. But Mayan Williams can still at least handle a game. That's all great and well. But C.J. Stroud is not the only quarterback that looked pretty good out there. Fucking Finn from Toledo looked pretty fucking good. And I don't necessarily like that my defense is allowing him to look like a guy who, now that he's kind of did what he did against Ohio State, even if it is only 21 points, he could probably transfer somewhere and cash in. It just looks like. DB play is still awful. I don't know what's going on with the cornerbacks between Burke and Brown. It's just, it's concerning.
It was Brown's turn to be burnt toast this week.
Yeah, it's concerning. Like, why are you guys getting torched?
They be fucking with Eli Apple, bro. They in a group chat together.
All right, bro.
And they send each other burnt toast emojis. It's like a running joke.
My problem is there's also not that much depth there either.
Oh.
So then it's just like, well, what the fuck are we going to do? And that part kind of concerns me against a team like Wisconsin. Again, I'm still not that afraid of Graham Mertz.
You got to get it to him. And that's a 50-50
They
proposition.
can scheme something against that and exploit it.
Sure.
And that's kind of why I'm a little concerned about Wisconsin play. Now, our rush defense has been pretty good. And so I think we can possibly contain Braylon Allen. But I'm not sure 100%. I'm still not convinced 100%. So now it's, how are we going to contain both Braylon Allen and Graham Mertz and make sure that our offense can, score at will when needed?
So first off, I wish we could get our fucking quarterback to stay in to get his stats. Like, shit. Yeah, fucking damn near 400 yards and nigga scored 77.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm watching these games that we played. Not to take I'm promising this is going back to Ohio State. And it's like, we probably could score more here. Like we could probably get the ball back a little bit more and keep scoring. Mm-hmm. But then like it just ends up, calling off the dogs. And then you see other teams and it's like, nope, score 80 if you can. Score 80 if you can. I long for some of that. I want that sometimes. Also all right, so the defense, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm seeing a lot of with him early on is that Jim Knowles, he blitzes off schedule a lot, so he blitzes a lot on first down. Mm-hmm. He doesn't blitz to fit what the offense is doing. He blitzes, so it's more of a gamble, right? He's like, look, even if you get me once or twice, I feel like I'm going to get you more than you going to get me. I got the dogs, you don't. I'm going to get you more than you get me. Mm-hmm. So he blitzes when he wants to as opposed to when the offense dictates. Mm-hmm. that is great if you're out-talenting everybody that you're playing.
Yes. It can definitely throw the offense off kilter quite a bit.
If you can't just out-talent the other team,
it leaves you exposed.
Now you're exposed. Yeah, now you're exposed. Because he's tipping his hand, but it's 4 aces, you know? That's kind of what it is. Mm-hmm. So it's big game, big reward, big risk though.
Yes.
Because it does leave him exposed on the back end or in some of these holes, because I know on first down when I step up against your defense, you're coming. I know you are. So if I can hold protection, find the open slot and tear you apart up and down the field, I'll be able to do that because there's no counter to that. Mm-hmm. If you stop blitzing on first down, I'm going to eat you alive. You stop blitzing those safeties on first down, I'm getting 5 yards of carry because now your safety's off.
Yeah.
Now he's not getting involved in the run mix the way he was. He's not blowing up the formation as I'm trying to pull or I'm trying to run power or whatever. So he's got to stick with it. But if I find a way to beat it, you're going to stick with it. Man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, he's Don Brown. The scheme is not the same, but the mentality is the same. The scheme is not the same, but he plays football. They speak football the same language, him and DB.
But if the cornerbacks could just not get burnt.
Here's the thing, though.
That hole is filled, and it's not as disturbing.
When you're blitzing those safeties the way that he does, you leave your corners on islands. You leave your corners on one-on-one.
Right.
So the only thing you got to do is have a guy outside that can win a one-on-one matchup.
Yeah.
And now you in trouble.
Yeah, they have no help.
Because even though, you might think you have the more talented players on the outside, one-on-one opportunities favor the offense. So if I can consistently get one-on-one matchups on the outside, I'm going to win more than you are. Mm-hmm. That's why he's trying to get to the quarterback before he can get the ball out there.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think it's going to be an interesting chess match with Wisconsin.
I agree.
And seeing how they kind of scheme it, because he's not lying to you. He's not trying to show you anything. He's like, look, I'm going to get about 9 guys around this line of scrimmage. 6 of them are going to come. We're going to cover on the back end. And if you can get the ball there once or twice, fine. But you're not going to score. And that's how he's playing ball. At very least, if you're the offensive coordinator, then you could plan against that.
Yeah, I think I look at it and I say, all right, 77 is great, but that's just a product of how good our offense is.
Mm-hmm. Toledo didn't have anybody to stop y'all on defense. You know, it wasn't really nothing there that they could do to stop y'all from scoring. So even though they're having a little bit of success on offense, it ultimately got landslided by what you guys were able to do offensively.
But I think that's my more concerned part, is that Toledo scored 21, for me at least.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, because you're getting ready to get the test next week, right? We both are. It's conference play, so we'll see how it translates.
For sure. Any out-of-conference things that you wanted to talk about, or?
Well, I'm surprised that Texas A&M beat Miami.
Oregon at 25 beat BYU 41-20.
Okay, Oregon, well, good for you.
So they'll probably rise back up the ranks. I still can't believe that Akron lost to Tennessee 63-6.
Jesus Christ.
Can't believe it. Come on, Akron. You're better than this.
Well, no, I absolutely couldn't believe it, but Jesus.
No, man.
But they're getting paid for it. They probably got about $1.5 million. That's sad that they turned into a school that's taking checks to go get beat the hell up.
Turned into? They've been there for a while.
Have they?
I remember being at school and them playing Ohio State.
Well, but Ohio State plays a lot of in-state schools. I mean, they're shit, and that's why they play them.
I think they were getting payments back then, weren't they?
I thought this was like a newer. They always just been paying smaller schools to come
I just don't think they've been paying them this much.
Oh, okay.
I think. But I think they've always been getting paid little amounts.
You know who isn't getting these $1 million sign-ups to go get drug against Power 5 teams?
Jackson State.
SWAC schools, but we'll talk about that in Dubs and L's. Man, give us your thoughts on this week of Big Ten football, week 3. continue to tell us your teams in the comments. Let us know who we're talking about, so we can try to increase the content any different way. Definitely serving the squad homies. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and come back next week for another review.
And make sure you check out our previous weeks of Big Ten Talks. And make sure you subscribe because we'll be talking about each week as they happen.